But obviously, you have been to North Korea more than 100 times. So the developments of today, I need you to put into economic perspective for me.
Well, it's very difficult to know much about what's going on there, Richard, because so little information comes out of there. And we send a lot of tourists there year-round, except for the middle of December to the middle of January. And inconveniently, that's right about now. But as you point out, the economic situation there is pretty bad. But there is some private enterprise that goes on, or semi-private enterprise that's visible to tourists, especially in the capital, Pyongyang.
What is the discrepancy in economic activity between the capital and the rural centres or outside of the capital? How different is the standard of life?
Well, like in most developing countries, the political power and the economic power is centralised in the capital city. So things are generally better there. You see a lot more variation in clothes people wear, the food which is available, but it is visibly different in second-grade cities and in the countryside. It definitely works on a slant, if you will, the Pyongyang being the best place to live, and the larger cities on the coast, the industrial areas, being the next best place to live, all the way down to the countryside.
So if you had, so when your tourists go there and you tell them about the economy, I mean, I've just briefly said mining, fisheries, some minor industrial production, of course, defence, and also agriculture. But it's on a very limited scale, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't have the figures to hand, but as you mentioned, their GDP is not so big. GDP per capita is not so big. When tourists go there, they can see some industry going on, some steel works, glass manufacturing, a lot of this with Chinese investment or foreign investment. There's even a car factory, but these are, specific examples you can give, which is not really enough for a whole country. The air is mysteriously clean in Pyongyang, whereas if you compare it to that of Beijing or other large cities in the region, you can't really breathe so well there,
right,
which is really a sign of what industry is missing.
So what do you think, as we look to the great successor, and Kim Jong-un, what will be your fears for what might happen as the transition takes place there? Because you're better positioned than most, having, never mind the pundits and the analysts, you've actually been there, I say, more than 100 times.
Mm-hmm. Well, all we can do is really hope that whatever happens goes well for the average person there. I mean, it is a country of 24 million people, and as is often reported on North Korea, it really reports focus on one or two people at the top and what's going on in the military. We tend to overlook the fact that it has a very high population for a small country like that. So whatever happens, whether it be more of the same or some liberalization or moves towards reunification, hopefully it would be to the benefit of the people at the bottom of the pyramid, really, because that's what's really needed. That's what we try and show people we take there, is that there's a plurality of life experience, from comfortable middle class, which is very small, of course, to most people who have difficult lives in a difficult country.
And do you imagine that for your tourists and for your business, just let's be completely about your business now, are you concerned that in whatever transition now takes place, it might be more difficult for you to get more tourists in next year?
It's a concern, sure, but because this news is new news, we really don't know, to be honest. Right. It's not an entirely unprecedented situation, because after all, the former leader, Kim Il-sung, died in 1994. But at that time, there almost no tourists visited. Now we take 1,500 people in a year. So we just don't know, to be honest, and I'm sure we won't know anything more until the end of this official mourning period at the end of this year.
Simon, good to talk to you tonight and to morning your time. Again, many thanks indeed. Simon Cockerell joining us live from Beijing.